Hello everybody, you're listening to Alfred's Hong Kong News Updates. Alfred's Hong Kong News Updates is brought to you by Alfred and Friends. Alfred and Friends is a global conglomerate that owns and invests in a large variety of companies all around the world. The updates I'd like to give you right now is on the Chinese the government of China giving Elon Musk a permanent residency. You see, this is quite interesting because China, as we all know, has a population in the billions, and they do not easily give out citizenship or residency on a permanent basis, as in permanent residency. There are a lot of people who have migrated to China from Africa, and they are married to Chinese citizens and have been married for 20, 50 years. Even though their children are Chinese citizens, they have refused to give these Africans Chinese citizenship or permanent residency. They have to go and update their permits when it expires. Naturally, since they are married to Chinese citizens, their permits are often longer than the permits that visitors are given. But it's funny, now the Chinese government has given permanent residency to Elon Musk. Now, the interesting thing for those of you who do not know is that Elon Musk is the founder of Tesla, and he's actually the creator of PayPal. He's the one who created PayPal before he left the company and focused on other ventures like Tesla, SpaceX, and the rest of them. But it goes to show the intelligence. Some countries are acting intelligently and rationally when it comes to economic and financial matters. You see, this is the kind of reasoning that I bring forward when I talk about the importance of attracting the rich to your country. When you attract the rich, the wealthiest people in the world to your country and attract innovators, it's only for the good of your country. China giving an innovator like Elon Musk and a billionaire like Elon Musk permanent residency puts themselves in a position where a lot of his innovations and inventions will be based out of China, and also it will be done with the best interest of China. You see, this is the wisdom of attracting the rich, and I would advise other countries to follow suit when you do things like that, and when you also create tax havens. That is why Switzerland is the way it is. Switzerland has nothing to offer the world when it comes to natural resources. You see, all they have is Swiss cheese, But yet Switzerland is one of the wealthiest countries in the world and has been for a long time. Why? Because of its banks. And it has created the greatest safe haven for the wealthy. So when people make a lot of money, they move their money to Switzerland and keep it in the Swiss bank accounts. Why? Because that is where the wealth of the rich is safest. A few other banks in certain countries have done the same thing and have created those sorts of bank accounts that are quite tax havens to the rich. And you see, when you do things like that are rational, you only make things greater and better. But let me point out something to you based on this move. America is a country where they are increasing taxes on the rich, and there is a large population of young socialists and communist-minded people like Senator Alexandria Cortez, who is suggesting the rich pay 60-70% tax. When you tell the rich to pay 60-70% tax in America, guess what? In the case of Elon Musk, he has permanent residency in China, so he shifts his billions there. Why would he cut his billions short by 60 or 70%? Think about it. It's irrational. So you have to understand this. When you keep taxing the rich, they just shift their money to another country. You see, and most importantly, the new businesses they will start it in the country that it is cheapest. Look at America, for example. A lot of companies in America are incorporated where? In Delaware or Nevada. Why? Because those are the cheapest places in America to start your company. In Delaware, you can start a company for less than $100. In Nevada, you can start a company with only $100 and there are no hidden fees. That is all the government is taking from you. However, if you are trying to start a company in New York, by the time you are through paying, the money could run into over $300. Yet, we have millionaires and billionaires. That's what will they do? In spite of the fact that they want their business to operate out of New York, they go to Delaware or Nevada. It is common sense. People go to places that the taxes are lower. Who wants to start a business in a place where they will be paying 60-70% tax? So by doing irrational things like that, future businesses, like in the case of Elon Musk is known. What about other people, other billionaires who are not known? You see, who they are giving permanent residency and offers like this will not make the news. What will they do? They will start new companies and new innovations and new things that they are doing, or even shift the headquarters of their existing companies to these foreign countries that are tax havens or give them preferred deals. Naturally, you must know that China is sadly a communist nation, but it's a communist nation that smiles upon billionaires. That is why there are billionaires in China. Like we know of Jack Ma. Under real communism, there can be no billionaires. But you can see when communism actually creates billionaires. Let us look at Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler and his Nazis. His top-ranking Nazis were billionaires. You see, however, the teaching of communism is against that. Why is that? Because when you create a situation where everybody should be created equal, or everybody is equal, some people have to be more equal than others to maintain the equality of everybody else. In other words, once you create a communist or a socialist idea that will be take from the rich and give to the poor, you have to give a certain set of people the power to maintain that balance of taking from the rich and giving to the poor. Those people you have given that power are the new rich, and they are often very few, and they are all going to be in government, and they will pass on their privileges and their rights to their children. So you have actually succeeded in creating a different kind of monarchy, an oligarchic rule, which is something that you would think that a communist should be against. But you see, communism works wonders for the one who rules. Communism makes the ruling class, those who are enforcing that everybody is loyal to communism, it makes them super rich and super powerful, because the new money and the new currency in such a scenario is power. You see? So, but that is just something that you should keep in mind, and this is interesting. So for those who have been saying that permanent residency in China is impossible, it clearly is not impossible for those who have something powerful to offer to China. So that's the updates I have for you right now. Remember to go to alfredandfriends.com to find out how you can invest in Alfred and Friends. Alfred and Friends has a lot of offers, and we invest with the money that we are given. We invest in different countries and different nations and different businesses all around the world. When you go to the site, contact us, keep in touch with us, and we'll work together, mutually benefiting each other. Once again, thank you and God bless you.